Son of a bitch.
So you just started the recording by saying the son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, that's okay. If anybody tunes in, that's all they should be hearing anyways. And this was such a good session. Now I'm really pissed off.
Yeah, I get it. But you have to do this with the as a taking the guest.
You know, it's funny.
Every time has to be a guest the next time, I guess. So
almost every session I've done almost has automatically recorded. And this time it didn't kick in.
Yeah, before we started, so you have just disconnected in somehow, so that might be the reason, I guess.
I could have been during that disconnect.
Where are you from, Umpe?
Hello, I'm from Indonesia. I'm in Bandung City. Charlie has visited us several years ago. I run a small shop. I'm using line table, so no color limitation. I do like 30 color runs.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I'm doing for Disney, Walt Disney, here in Indonesia.
And are you working with silicone now?
Are you working with silicone?
Beg your pardon?
Are you using silicone inks now?
No, but I'm interested to know about silicone inks. I mean, I'm running a YouTube channel about screen printing, and I hope I will have the opportunity to talk about silicone someday. I try to use it.
Okay. I'm gonna just put my email address here if you want to get in touch with me.
Yeah.
And if I had recorded this, you could have just listened to the whole thing.
The connection's really bad after this recording. I can't really hear you.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining.
Yeah, so we have already started the recording, Charlie, but so do you have any question about the silicone inks? So because in the Turkey, maybe I can give you something about the Turkish market. So we just calculated in the Turkish market, there are some applications for the silicone ink, such as gripping, embossing, transfer printing, and screen printing. So when we just calculate all of these amounts right now in the Turkish market is like 50,000 metric tons for the consumption, and the consumption is increasing. So I can tell this. So what about the United States market? Do you have any consumption thought or assumption in your mind, and what do you think about this?
Sorry, were you talking to me?
Okay, so in the Turkish market, in the consumption of the silicone ink is increasing. So what about the States and the Central America? So I'm just curious.
Well, you know, in the U.S., since performance fabrics are definitely a in thing right now, you know, much as they hated it years ago when it was called polyester, now that it's not polyester anymore, now that it's a performance fabric, everybody wants it. And certainly everybody that's gotten involved with it is always looking for a better way of printing with it. And the polyester inks are not the most desirable for it, just because they're stiff, they don't stretch, etc. And so I'm finding more and more companies are willing to work with silicone, give it a try, even though the cost is higher. They're dealing with a higher price garment to begin with. So by throwing on some extra money for the printing, doesn't seem to really hurt the whole package at all. The end result, I think, is a great one based on the hand that you get. It's got a nice soft hand. It stretches well. I don't believe that you're going to have too many companies that run away from it once they try it. I think that's the biggest thing is getting someone to get that initial order of silicone in between catalyst, the pigment, the base, the blocking agent, and getting an understanding of the fact that they can't walk away from it at the end of the day. They have to clean out their screen, otherwise they're going to have a mess on their hands.
Mhm.
Not things that are really difficult, to be honest with you, just a little different procedure. With water-based having moved in fairly decently, the switch over to silicone is not a dramatic one anymore,
Mhm.
because they've gotten used to the fact that they can't just walk away from water-based. I think where the biggest challenge comes in is getting people to get it through their heads that this is silicone. You do have to flash between every color as opposed to doing any wet on wet printing. I don't know anyone who's done a whole lot of anything. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've seen anybody who's done simulated process printing with it. Dan,
Yeah.
have you seen any of that?
Yeah, I've done sim process with Michelle Moxley on occasion and a few other printers.
Okay, I haven't seen any results on that. I mean, I'd like to do some playing with it myself.
Yeah.
I don't know what the opacity range is, but you know, the biggest thing with simulated processes, generally it's all wet on wet. Interested to see what a wet on dry situation would do. Not that it's puzzled by it, because back when we did jacket printing, it was wet on dry. And so I'm sure this is in tune with that. I don't know what the opacity ranges are, whether you need high opacity or moderate opacity versus a very transparent ink. But I think certainly it would be worth playing with some of the images that I'm familiar with, where I've done them in Plasol, done them in water-based, and maybe do the same thing with a silicone just to see what the differences are like without expecting them to look the same.
Right. Yeah, we should hook up and try that sometime, Charlie. Maybe at Long Beach, I'll drop in if you're going to do a learning corner or something. I'll drop in with some
Yes.
examples.
So I know you don't have a color matching system. So if I wanted to do a 4-color process type print, obviously I would just use a minimal amount of pigment and just choose a quote unquote a red, a yellow, and a blue that would come together somewhat.
Yeah, and I would say there's we've developed an opaque mixing base to improve and increase opacity and color matching and color blocking for dark color fabrics, but we have other bases that are not opaque that you could drop that same pigment into. Or for like sim process, if you wanted something more moderate, you could cut back the opaque base with the clear bases. It's a lot like these are, all of these bases are pretty compatible. So
Okay.
if somebody gets really good, when I'm on press with some of the great folks, they don't want to just print how we say to print. They want to play around with it. And so you bring a bag of goodies and you just start playing around with it. It's not like some of the plastisols where you have they're kind of like, I would call them extending bases.
Okay.
You could use either base as an extending base. If you wanted something that was semi-gloss and you were working with a matte, you could add some gloss base and get a semi-gloss without affecting the final properties.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Well, if I can get you to send me some samples, I'd love to do some playing. I have a workshop coming up in Fort Worth, but I'm also doing a seminar on performance fabrics. And
Yes.
not sure if you can get me anything in time for that, but certainly it's one of the things I do want to play with is a simulated process situation. Mostly because I'm not.
So, Charlie, do you have a capability to work on auto press the silicone which we can use?
Do I have a press that I can use?
Yeah, the auto press. Do you have an auto press capability to work with our?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have customers that I can go to and I can commandeer their machinery. That's not a problem at all.
So because I see very importance in here. So you are a well-known person for the screen printing fella. So we can just prepare some sample pack for you, and you can just try out in the auto presses, especially for our maybe our ready for use white or our opaque base. So you can just put some catalyze and the pigment concentration in it, so you can just see and just leave some comments about our product. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's worth noting, Latro has a vision of, with their sampling process, it's better than any sampling process I've worked with customers. They've got a great kit that isn't hugely expensive like some other manufacturers. It's small enough that you can put it on a manual press and just get to know the inks. It's got like 4 colors, a couple of bases, catalyst, and it always comes with a QR code. It's one of the nice things about where Latro is you don't need to read through a bunch of paperwork. You can just hit the QR code and it'll bring you to your instructions for use.
Yes,
Nice.
there's also formulation guides. I mean, the mixing ratios and the squeegees and the what type of fabric you can apply and the cleaning and stuff like this. We have already prepared some of the preparation parts, and we have also the cart. We just uploaded all the knowledge related with products in that cards, and that cart is just forever for our customers. So we already upgrade and for that card, and there's also STSs and TDSs inside this cards, and there's some application videos related with
Okay.
Yeah.
scripting and
And I
other
think that's one of the things that has restricted people's intention to get into silicone is the expense of even a sample kit can be high. So if you just want to try it out and see if it fits what you're working with, what your intentions on embellishment are, this is a really easy way to just give it a try and then decide.
Yeah, we are also started preparation for the selling some just little course of sample kits for the maybe the small shops in the States, because as you just say, so there are lots of small shop in the States, and if we can just find and just deal with a distribution ship, maybe we can just directly just send them some small pack of silicone to give a try, and
Right.
to people understand silicone very well. So there will be some educational video when you just record the QR code in there. So this is one of our projects too, because in the screen printing region, so the technical technical guide is very, very important. So we are just trying to fill that gap, just recording some videos or stuff like that. Of course we are always here, but so
I
all
have
the
a
words
I have a
go
question.
digital. Sure.
I have a
Sure.
question. Is silicone already available in Indonesian market or in Asian market now? I mean, except China, perhaps, yeah.
Yeah,
Or is it?
we have customers. We have customers in the Asia, in the Pakistan, in India, and Bangladesh too. We don't have any distributor in that part, so we just sell the products directly. So if you just
Okay.
wanna give it a try, the products, just I already wrote my mail, so just send me your mail or something and your
Okay.
interest, and we can keep in touch, and I'll help you there.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm typing my email.
Okay.
Terrific. Well, I'm sorry we didn't get all of this recorded. It really is annoying that we didn't, and it's my own fault. The little that we did record will be on my website.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do this again somewhere down the road.
Yeah, that will be very nice. Maybe next time that can be with the Dan Solomon. So
Listen, I'd put Dan on. I have no problem with that at all. Matter of fact, I'll be in touch with Dan, see if we can schedule something and take it from there.
Yeah, that sounds good, Charlie. I'll be back in the States in October, November, and then January for the.
Well,
Okay.
even from where you are, I mean, it's not that big a deal. Fortunately, it's not the middle of the night. When I have to deal with Indonesia, he's up at 11 o'clock at night to be on this.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost midnight here.
Yep,
It's
I
over.
know.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm really curious about silicon because I run a Facebook group with 130,000 members,
Mhm.
and
Wow.
that's every screen printers that's a screen printing group, and there's none that are talking about silicon until now. So I hope I can share knowledge as well to my fellow group members.
that would be great.
I'm
Other than
sending you-
that, gentlemen, it was wonderful having you on. Thank you so much. Certainly, Art, I'll shoot my email over to you. If you can put a kit together for me, I would love to do some playing with it. And other than that, I'm sure I'll have some questions somewhere along the line. Dan, I have your email as well on here, so I'll deal with both of you. I'll be in touch with you if I can get you onto my Charlie's Corner.
Sure. All right, guys. Have a great
Thanks
day.
again.
much, Charlie,
Enjoy the
for this
gentlemen.
session.
Enjoy the evening. I have my day ahead of me.
Okay. Thank you
Thanks
very
so
much
much for
the
being
invitation.
on.
Take care. Good.
See you guys.